eyes on me when I run. Stacking wins, I'm never done. On the field, I'm number one.
Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. Thursday night, I wasn't expecting to do a stream tonight. I swear I wasn't. I wasn't scheduled to do one, but breaking news does not let you rest. Breaking news concerning Man United does not let you rest. And of course, you've seen it from the thumbnail, you've seen it from the title, and it's been announced Casemiro will be leaving Manchester United at the end of this season. At the end of the June, he's going to be going off to the World Cup, saying goodbye to Manchester United and the fans, whether you love him or whether you hate him or whether you're in the middle. He is leaving Manchester United. He's going to be leaving a huge gaping hole in that midfield, and will Ineos be trusted to go out there and get someone who will be a better, if not like-for-like replacement for Casemiro. Now, the fans have been saying what they have been saying. I mean, there's been a massive, shall I say, a response to the news of Casemiro, and it surprised me a little bit. I must admit, it surprised me because lots of fans have come out saying, you know, that they're sad about the news that Casemiro is leaving. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not that particularly sad. I'm actually kind of like looking forward to whoever's going to come in to replace him. That's what I'm looking at. I'm thinking, okay, look, I'm really happy that we've got this news. Now, I said to you this morning in today's stream, I was saying, look, I've heard that there's a meetings going on between these players, Maguire, Casemiro, and of course, who else? Bruno Fernandes. And I wasn't sure. Obviously, I was assuming, putting two and two together, I was thinking, well, they're going to offer him all extensions. They're definitely offering Bruno Fernandes or trying to get him to extend for another year. And I thought, well, of course, that means all the rest are going to jump in as well. I was not expecting the news to come out tonight about Casemiro leaving. And look, I give him credit for this. I give him credit, whoever's come up with it, whether it's United or whether it's Casemiro. I'm happy with this announcement coming at this time. And the reason being is because, number one, we don't have to talk about whether Casemiro is going to go or not, and if he's going to drag it out. We've got the news. We can just put a line through it and then go now and look for a replacement. There's no time to faff about. There's no time to say, well, maybe if Casemiro stays, we don't need to get another midfielder. Maybe we can make do with the players that we've got, blah, blah, blah. Now we know that he's leaving. And we know he's going to go work hard for the rest of the season because he's got the World Cup coming up. So he's got the incentive there. I know some fans are saying, oh, that's really bad news. It's bad news. He's come out and told us that he's leaving because that means he's just going to give up. He's going to give up and not bother with the rest of the season. Not the case. Not the case. I'm telling you, this guy's going to work hard and he's going to make sure that he's playing to the best of his ability for the rest of this season because he wants to get into that international team. Even though he's the captain, he still has to prove his worth. He doesn't want to go into this Brazilian side and everyone question, all the Brazilian players question why he's even the captain and why he's even in the squad. So look, let me know in the comments below what you think about this Casemiro news. Are you happy with it? Are you upset that he's leaving? And just, yeah, let me know. Let me know. It's interesting because so far, the response that I've got from fans and what I'm reading on social media is that most fans are upset that he's leaving. I'm not in that camp. I must admit, I'm not. You might think, what an arsehole, right? Why is Travis not upset about Casemiro leaving? Because I'm looking for bigger and brighter future, right? I'm looking for more players, young players to come in. It's a no win-win situation with Casemiro. I know there's some fans, if he would have said, right, I'm staying another year, these same fans who are now complaining that he's leaving would have absolutely had a hissy fit about it, saying, oh my God, Casemiro's leaving. Oh, why is he leaving? Look, he's been good, and I think he's doing the best thing. He's going out on a high. Well, hopefully he's going to go out on a high. He's had a really good season so far. He's impressed me this season. I think he's been one of our best players. But then I also want him to continue doing this and come end of the season, get us into the Champions League and go off into the sunset, actually being remembered and liked by the majority of the Man United fans. He has been a good introduction to United. He's come in and he's done some good work for United. He's scored some big goals. And I can see social media just on fire right now about Casemiro. But look, for me, Casemiro frees up a lot of finances for United. We know that he was on 300 plus a week at United. His contract was massive. I know we got some news and reports and sources saying that, look, United are going to offer him half the value or half the salary what he's on as an extension. It's very unlikely he takes it. I did say that months ago. I said, look, it's highly unlikely that Casemiro will accept the terms being offered to him by United, and he will leave at the end of the summer. That's why when I was getting news that there's meetings going on, high-level meetings going on between Casemiro and the board, and this is last week I started hearing, and then, of course, today I brought the news. I didn't break the news that he's leaving, but I did say, look, there's meetings, and I suspect that it's to do with his contract extension. I was not expecting the news to be that he's leaving, and then, of course, he's done his farewell message to the United players and everything else. I mean, look, he's been good. He's been good. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not upset. I'm not upset by it. I'm not like, look, oh my God, Casemiro's leaving, so everything's falling apart. I'm just glad that we kind of know where we're going with this, right? I'm just glad that we know Casemiro's going to leave. And then, look, he can give it his all. We can get behind him, not criticise him for every single mistake he makes. And if he can just, like I say, give us the gift of qualifying for Champions League, we'll be happy with that. I'll be happy with that, and I'll remember him with fond memories, and I'll forget everything that he does, which is wrong or which I've been upset with him about. But overall, look, he's been a good servant. He's been a good servant to United, and we can see some highlights. He scored some serious goals for United. So, like I say, look, I don't want to get copyright, so I'll take that off, guys. So anyway, so yeah, look, for me, Casemiro, brilliant servant. Done his job. We got the breaking news earlier today. Casemiro confirms he's leaving Manchester United at the end of the season, knowing when stages come to an end. I don't think he said that. I think he said knowing when an era comes to an end or something like that. Knowing when to say goodbye, when you feel that you will be remembered and respected forever. 4 months to give my all for this badge and for our goal. Eternal respect and affection for Manchester United and its wonderful fans. Forever Red Devil. Well, there is one thing I must admit with Casemiro. He definitely plays for the badge, man. You know, whether you like him on the pitch, whether he does a good job or not, one thing you have to say about Casemiro and put that on his name is he plays for the badge. He is someone who you'd like having on your team rather than playing against. So, look, for me, absolutely brilliant. But we've got other massive breaking news, guys. We've got some crazy news coming out, and that's why I came live. I didn't actually come live for the Casemiro news, I must admit. The Casemiro news broke about 5 o'clock, and you're probably thinking, Travis, you're a bit late, aren't you? What have you been doing, you lazy bugger? Why didn't you come on at 5? Well, I'll be honest with you. 5 o'clock, I got the breaking news. I got it a bit earlier than that, actually. I got it a bit earlier. And I thought, do I go with this? Shall I go and sit on the stream and chat about Casemiro? And then I was like, no. I've got some other news as well that we need to wait on. And the news is on a new midfielder that United have been in talks with. Now, yesterday or today, I was actually talking to you about Man United being in high-level meetings with someone in London. I brought this to you this morning. So if you were part of the stream this morning, you would have seen this. I said to you, look, Manchester United officials were locked in talks all day in London yesterday. And I couldn't make sense of it. And at one point, I did think, are we looking at Palmer here? Like, are we serious about Palmer? Is Palmer really coming to United? Like, why would the officials be all there in London discussing, like, in discussions, transfer discussions? And I was like, nah, this is weird. This is weird. Something's going on. But the news is that it concerns a certain Adam Wharton. Yep, that's what we're hearing. The news is that Adam Wharton is being tapped up by United. Believe it or not, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't got the full information here. I'm just bringing you the news hot off the press. It's literally dropped moments ago that United are in discussions with Crystal Palace to sign Adam Wharton. Whether they're far advanced or whether they're really early, I'm not sure. But if they can get Adam Wharton, this is brilliant news. And look, let me stop before you kind of get carried away and open up the champers, right? It's not January that we're looking at. This is a transfer that United are looking to get done in the summer. And we were talking earlier today. There was a few of us on the chat, and we were having our discussion. And it was like, look, Anderson or Wharton. Anderson looks like he's been tapped up by City. City will want Anderson, and if not, they'll probably be going after a few others. And I said to you, look, we need to work out who we need to go for. Then, if Anderson's going to decide, or there's news that's coming out, or sources are saying that City have tapped up Anderson and they've boxed him off, United need to be very careful on who they're chasing. They don't want to be chasing after the wrong player. They don't want to be going after Anderson when he's already decided who he's going for. And they don't want to make it public either. They don't want to come out and say, oh, we're going to focus just on Anderson, allow Wharton and allow Baleba and everybody else. And they start chasing Anderson. And Anderson does a De Jong with us, right? Frankie De Jong with us, where he just lets us be until right at the last minute and says, well, I'm going to City. I never had any intention to join Man United. So for me, that is the biggest concern I have of going after whoever in the midfield. But this is great news. This is fantastic, fantastic news. If there is some credence to it, if there's some substance to this, and United are in fact in talks with Crystal Palace over Wharton, this is massive, massive news for United. Because look, the biggest fear I have is that we are not in talks with anybody, and come summer we're just left with nothing. Because these kind of talks, these kind of signings take place well before the summer transfer window. We saw it with Kuna, we've seen it with Mbeumo. The talks actually start happening way before the season ends. Now, the problem United have got is, are they in a position to leverage the whole Champions League position, blah, blah, blah? I think they are. I think they would be. I think they would be putting that to the table. I think they'd be saying, look, we will be looking to qualify for Champions League. So I think they want Wharton to come on board even before that's decided. So they've got their man, and it's signed, sealed, delivered, even before the Champions League has been secured. So even if we don't secure Champions League, we still are bringing in someone like Wharton who can strengthen our team going into the next season. I think that's a shrewd move. I think that's the most sensible move to make, rather than waiting to the end of the season and then if we don't qualify for Champions League, then our negotiation, we've lost all our leverage. We've lost all that positivity that we can put on the table and say to Wharton, well, look, we've qualified for Champions League. But in this case, we can quite easily say, well, we are in the Champions League spots. We will be qualifying for Champions League spots. We are doing really well this season. So come over, join us, sign the paperwork. Let's get it done, and you can come and join us. So that is why I think this is fantastic news. And I believe that these are happening now, if you're asking me. So if I was to take an guess as to whether these talks are taking place, I'd say yes, they are taking place. I think they are taking place. I think United have decided they're going to go after Wharton after they've probably heard that Anderson has already been tapped up. Baleba and Wharton might be our two key signings in the summer. And I'm going to say it, if that happens, I will be over the moon. I'd be over the moon. That's going to be huge, huge two signings, man. Baleba and Wharton, right? Seriously? And in fact, do you know what? I got off the stream today and I started thinking about Anderson, and I was like, do you know what? Who would I prefer? Like, if I had the money and I had the chance as a United representative to go and sign somebody, who would I sign? Who would it be? Would it be Wharton? Would it be Anderson? Or would it be Baleba? And I started thinking deep about this, and I was sat there thinking, well, look, Anderson, I know he's good. He can play in different positions. But then Wharton, he has got that presence. He's got that composure. He's calm. He's relaxed. He's almost like for like when it comes to Rodri. I think you'd argue that Wharton is more like Rodri than Anderson is. So I was surprised. I was thinking, that's strange, because Wharton's a really, really good player. And we already know. We know that Real Madrid have even been looking at him and watching him carefully and considering a move for him. So let's hope that doesn't pan out, but if it does, we're in trouble. But this is why, for big signings like Wharton, you cannot make them over the transfer window, in the summer transfer window. They've got to be done early. We know he's going to be off to the World Cup, so you don't want that to interfere with anything. You know he's not going to have time once he goes off to the World Cup to discuss anything or sign anything. So we need to get this deal done before the season ends. That's why it's imperative. And the same thing with Anderson. If Anderson is going to go anywhere, it's got to be done before the World Cup. Same thing. Actually, Blaber, I don't know if Cameroon have qualified. I don't believe they have for the World Cup. So yeah, Blaber we can sort out during the summer. So there's no rush there with Blaber. But if we want any one of the Andersons or Whartons, we need to get it done immediately. But it's great news. Let me see what the chat is saying about this. It wasn't going to be a long show, but let's just say, let's see. Niche says, Baleba incoming. Get an announcement about it soon. Oh, please. I hope so, man. I hope so. Maybe this window. I don't know about this window. I don't think we would have heard by now. I mean, we've not got long to go. I just feel like Brighton are probably not going to sell him because Brighton are still very stubborn as a club to deal with. They're really difficult as a club. And that's the noise coming out of Brighton, that they're just digging their heels in, not wanting to do anything. I wouldn't take a wage cut, and Blaber is already sorted at the latest for the summer. Blaber will take 120. We can get him for 60 plus 10 from Brighton. He doesn't want to be there. Well, yeah, look, that's the massive thing with knowing that Casemiro is leaving, so you can start financially planning going forward. So you immediately know, look, okay, 300 and so, I think it's 310 or 350 in that region that he gets paid. If we take that off the table, you've got options there, man. You can go and sign 2 new players at least, and yeah, pay him 150 each. You're loving it. Yeah, so he's on. He was on 350 a week. Bruno doesn't even get that. Yeah, he's on huge amounts. And Blaber doesn't get as much as that. And I think whatever we've negotiated with Blaber, this is going to be massive news. I mean, I was excited the moment I read it. There's an article about it as well. So I was reading the article and I was like, wow. So United are making moves behind the scenes in secret talks with players. And I like this secret thing. I like this secret midfielder thing that is going on. I don't want everyone to know what United are doing and who they're going after, because you know what happens. Prices increase, players start playing up. It just gets a bit dirty, and it just you don't want that. You just want it to be a nice, clean cut transfer. You get the news when they've already done the deal. You don't get the little bits of news even before they've approached the player. You want the deal done and in the bag, and only then do you want to hear of it. That's what I would prefer anyway. Wharton makes sense, as Anderson probably off to City. Yeah, as we discussed earlier today. Yeah, Stephanie, we did. It makes sense. I said in today's earlier stream, I said, if City are going for Anderson, United need to go and box off Wharton immediately, because at least then they know, right, okay, that's our man then. That's our man. Let's not waste time on Anderson. Let's not even bother going in and trying to sign him, because we know it's going to be difficult. And to be honest with you, if it's a difficult choice between the two. I like Anderson, but I absolutely do not mind Wharton either. That makes complete sense if Bruno's leaving. Wharton, 6, Baleba and Menu. Yeah, look, I still feel like we are gonna see an announcement by Bruno as well. I really do, unless something drastic happens and they can convince him to stay on. Like I said, if they can kiss his ass as good as they can, they might keep him. They might be able to convince him to give him another year. But I just find it really difficult. Having heard what he's already said in this season, I just feel like he's already decided. I think he's already decided. I think he only stayed one more season upon Ruben Amorim's request that, look, just stay for me, give me another season. And I think that's what kept him. Otherwise, I think he would have left. And we've heard... already, I've heard that, look, noises coming out of the Saudi clubs that they're still in for him, and they're going to come in big. They're going to come in big for him. And this seems like another summer that they were going to have some crazy signings. There's already talk about Vinicius Jr. being tapped up by the Saudi clubs. Yes, Vinicius Jr. apparently going to get offered something like $1 billion in a contract. These numbers are insane, right? But yeah, if they want to take Vinicius, I think they'll have to offer him something like that. But again, Bruno, if they offer Bruno something similar, yeah, it can happen. I actually want Wharton over Anderson for that left foot. Yeah, he is. He's solid player. Wharton also has more Premier League miles in his legs than Anderson. Yeah, I think he's just more composed. Knows what he's doing. And if you're looking at a player that we need one of those players. We don't want a head loss kind of player. We need someone, a calming figure in there. And well, many people have likened him to Carrick, almost saying, look, he's one of those type of players. But yeah, maybe Wharton is the mystery player, says Deesh. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. It might be that this is the secret midfielder that United have been talking about this week. How much money does these players really need? Yeah, do you know what? They need a lot of money. Look, their careers are short, and now they've got this option where they really can. They just think, right, okay, let's just make as much money as possible and call it a day. But yeah, crazy news tonight, man. I wasn't expecting this. I thought it's going to be a nice, quiet Thursday evening with not much news. And I thought we could do our preview show tomorrow and obviously look forward to United against Arsenal. Massive game. And this might put another edge on it. Yeah, this might put another edge on it. And I'm hoping that Casemiro really can see this season and think, right, do you know what? I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to go absolutely crazy for the next 16 games left, and I'm going to make sure that I go out on a high. And I think this is positive news. I don't look at it, and I'm not looking at this as a negative news. I'm looking at it as positive. I know some fans are saying this is bad news and we shouldn't let go of Casemiro. Look, let's be honest. If you're being fair, if the guy's just about playing 60, 70 minutes for us each game and he gets tired, look, he knows as well as we do that this is the best he can give right now. And he probably knows, look, I want to take it easy. I want to go off and enjoy my latter stages of my career. I do not want to let down the fans. I don't want to let the club down. I want to go out on a high, and you've got to respect the guy for that. You've got to respect for the guy for that. And he's you can't ask anything more from him, because that's what you want. You want a player to actually take it out of the hands of the fans and the club and not play on that emotional violin. You want him to be absolutely, cold and calm and say, right, look, I need to leave because I'm going to leave on a high, and this is the best I can give you. And after this, that's it. I'll move on. And I like that. And do you know what? Serious amount of respect for Casemiro. I think he's gone up for me in respect, in measure of respect for me. Seriously, because it takes massive balls for a player to make that decision before the season ends. He could quite easily be quite selfish and say, well, wait on, let me see what they offer. Let me see if we qualify for Champions League. Let me see if I can get more money out of the club. But he's not doing that. He's making it known. And I think some other players in that dressing room should take a page out of his book and realise, look, are we giving our very best for this club? Is there times now where we're not giving our best? Should we leave? Should we reject the salary that they're paying us and walk off on the matter of principle? That's the most important thing for me. And I like that. I like that about Casemiro. And that's why, for me, the respect for that has gone up for him massively to make that call, because it mustn't have been an easy call. You're going into the World Cup and you want to secure your future and things like that. So for me, massive respect for Casemiro. It's sad because, yes, he's been a pivotal part of this team for quite some time now, and he's given it his all. You can never point the finger at Casemiro and say he hasn't given it his all. And I'm sure we're going to probably hear more once he leaves about what struggles he's going through to actually even play them 60, 70 minutes for us, right? And run around and in that Ruben Amorim formation system, whatever it was, to do that on his own. I mean, it was hard work. it would be hard work for a prime Conte. Never mind someone like Casemiro, right? So look, it's been wonderful watching him. I think he's doing the best thing, leaving on a high, or leaving whilst the fans still have a lot of respect for him, rather than getting hated on and getting pushed out of the club. And I think he's taken the decision in his own hands, and that is where I think you realise the respect for Casemiro jumps right up there amongst the other players. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I want to thank you, everyone who's joined in. Make sure you hit the like, make sure you subscribe. Stephanie, Niche, and everybody else, thanks for joining in and letting me know your thoughts on Casemiro. It's going to be an interesting time in the rest of the season. Let's put it this way. And I'm just fingers crossed hoping that we get some further news on this Adam Wharton deal. Secret talks mean they're meant to be secret, right? So we're not quite sure what's being said and what Crystal Palace are saying, but I'm hoping that we can just box off the player. We know once we box off the player, if Wharton gives us the green light, everything else can fall into place. Allow everything else. It wards off all the rest of the clubs knowing that he's already decided to go to Man United, and then no one can really come in for him. And that's why I think it's really important that we do get them negotiations done and dealt with well before the season ends for Adam Wharton. But let's wait and see. Who knows what might come of this. Anyway, guys, make sure you hit the like, make sure you subscribe. You're watching the Man United Stream channel, a channel by the fans, for the fans. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.